How wonderful it is to see your faces after so long, to feel your energy, to be here. I'm very grateful. Thank you. You know, this monthly focus that Neil selected, Reverend Neil selected, is really of vital importance to each of us. I did listen to Neil's last couple of talks, and one of the first things that came up for me was a quote of Socrates: "The unexamined life is not worth living." And I remember my high school debate coach. Now, I know that was a half a century ago, but I remember him so well repeating that quote and saying each and every day, ask yourself, are you sharing the truth of who you are? Are you doing it right? For me, integrity is doing the right thing, even when no one else is looking. Why is integrity so important? In Proverbs, it says, the integrity of the upright guides them, but the unfaithful are destroyed by their duplicity. Or simply, there's a safe way to live. Do it right. The basic meaning of the Hebrew word for integrity is complete or whole. And that really resonated with me. I'm going to share a little bit of a story. Manny was talking the other day with his brother about when Manny and his dad were trying to install a new muffler on a 55 Chevy. They could not do it. They were frustrated. They were disappointed. They were more than a little upset because, you know, these guys can do everything, right?
Right.
Well, it ended up that they gave up and they took the part back. And guess what?
It was the wrong one.
It was the wrong part. You know, a car runs well when all the parts completely fit together. Isn't that also true for you and I? We run well on our journey when we focus on doing it right, when we're feeding the right parts. You know, we always try to make excuses for our actions, and it is never right to do wrong. Yes, integrity is the right choice. And remember that whatever a man sows, that he will also reap. As spiritual beings having a human experience, we have within us the gifts of our God: grace, peace, joy, creativity. And that creativity is more powerful than we give it credit for. We have to understand, like Jesus taught, all this and more you can do. Every time I think of that sentence, every time I read that sentence, I always have to take that deep breath in. And I have to take a look within myself. And I have to realize that that creativity is more powerful than I am willing to accept. Remember, what we are planting today, what we are sowing today, is what we will harvest. And when we talk about harvest, we're not talking about necessarily a single item. We're talking about an expansive growth, because what we sow today shares that vibration, shares that energy, and goes out and touches many. Our spiritual creative process actually requires us to have a discipline within our true nature and being able to discern what is ego learned behavior. And I'm the first one to say that's easier said than done. But a basic of integrity is to align with Holy Spirit's direction and to be awake to when we are off course on our authentic reality. A Course in Miracles tells us that we are here only to be truly helpful. Many years ago, I accepted that as my purpose. And therefore, what I sow is called to be a spiritual creative process. I must be aligned in faith, love, wisdom, discernment, and oneness. And I have to release that ego thought and let it go and create on a foundation of integrity. The divine gift of our creativity expresses uniquely through each one of us. And our creativity, we have to look at it as an outlet of conscious expression. And yes, we know painters, we know performers, we know writers, we know filmmakers, we know music, we know, yes. And then some of us, we love to garden, we love to cook. There's so many ways in the world that we express our creativity. However, there is so much more. Creative expression invites us to connect spiritually. So when we quiet our minds and not be attached to something looking and feeling, but just quiet our minds, go within and affirm that pure joy of being present, we can access that inner awareness of freedom. We can access that divine flow of creativity. And that loving energy peacefully supports every aspect of our day-to-day life. We are fully equipped from the day we are born to live as spiritual beings and express God here on earth. That is our call. So, faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Faith is our willingness to let go of the struggle and to see the gift of the creativity within us that removes that struggle. The first time that I actually recall totally understanding that was many years ago. I had just recently begun my ministry at our church, which was then called Unity of the Southwest. I have to admit that I was probably more irritated than I had ever been in ministry when I was finding out something about the church history, a history of several months, that I felt I should have been advised of when being offered the position. I was so frustrated. And I told a dear friend, Reverend Hal Laflin, I told him, I said, I don't know that I can stay here. I don't know that I can do this. He matter-of-factly said, well, you're a Unity minister now. You know that release is one of the 12 powers of Unity.
Amen.
Lightning flash. More than one. With my faith, I could actually see the light in that moment. And I saw that I could release it and I could let it go. And I knew that there was a divine order to my being there. I did not know that before because I had all those blocks up to it. And I had to understand that letting go within my consciousness moves to my heart, mind, and then into physical expression. I also realized that I've been playing an important role in the drama. I was doing anger. I was doing frustration. I was feeling taken advantage of. I was affirming my judgment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, life struggles come and go, and when they're released, they're forgotten in time. But moments of awakening, they stay with us. And that seeming struggle gives us that opportunity to have that light shine. We are truly blessed in letting go. And I think that it's important for us in many ways in our world right now to let go, because I do believe that there's not one of us that is in this world by accident. There is not one of us that is in this world other than for the purpose of being present now. What does it mean for each of us? I know that several of you are familiar with the Tao, and the Tao means the way. Lao Tzu refers to the ultimate order of things and the ultimate basis of reality. If there's to be peace in the world, there must be peace in the nations. If there's to be peace in the nations, there must be peace in the cities. If there's to be peace in the cities, there must be peace between neighbors. If there's to be peace between neighbors, there must be peace in the home. If there's to be peace in the home, there must be peace in the heart. My heart, our heart. Inner peace calls for our integrity, and being true to ourselves is crucial. What we show on the outside is what we hold in our heart mind. No, it's what we hold in our mind. Being true to ourselves means being kind. Yes, exactly what the daily word and dear Betty shared. But it also means being forgiving towards ourselves. And it's humility that allows us to cultivate that. That's another important ingredient, to see ourselves not as above or better than others. It is also our ability to laugh at ourselves, not making fun of ourselves, but recognizing the mistakes that we made and being grateful that we saw them, recognize them. Peace is also our grounded mutual responsibility, and interdependence is our human experience. It requires a transformation, yes, of our heart. It's both interior and communal. And from my perception, it has three aspects. First, peace with oneself. Rejecting inflexibility, anger, and impatience. In other words, fear. In the words of St. Francis, showing a bit of sweetness towards oneself in order to offer a bit of sweetness to others. Changes fear immediately. Fear then is face everything and rise. The second is peace with others. Family members, friends, strangers, those that appear to be suffering, and being unafraid to encounter them and listen, to hear what they have to say. And then the third is peace with all creation, rediscovering and committing to our individual and shared responsibility. And remember, responsibility, respond with God's ability. Shared responsibility as spiritual beings having a human experience in this world, affirming our willingness to be caretakers of this planet and all forms of life. Paul's letter to the Philippians. Finally, sisters and brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is gracious, if there is any excellence and if there is anything worthy of praise, think on these things. We are called to keep on doing what we have learned. We are called to keep on learning. We are called to be grateful for what we've received, even if we perceived it as bad or ugly, because we received it in divine order. We have to listen to the melody of life and find ourselves singing in harmony with it. We have to sing that song of peace and be open to the dissonances of the song of the land and of the people, that we might be part of the world's urging towards justice, to more love, kindness, peace. And we can feel in our bones, if we really give ourselves permission, the rhythms of life, and we can find ourselves dancing and singing in peace. I walked in here today. I saw these beautiful people. I shared a few hugs. I was singing the song of peace. I still am. What I'm asking is that I affirm and that we remember that our path is divinely lit. It is lit by our willingness to share in that song of harmony, that song with Holy Spirit, that song with each other. We must be called to remember that blessed is the path on which we walk today, and yes, every day. Blessed is that path that carries us upon it, one step at a time. Blessed is our heart mind when we heard the call and we discern our way through Holy Spirit. Blessed is the gift of joy and peace that we receive. And yes, truly blessed is the gift of joy and peace that we now have to share on our journey. And so it is. Thank you.